there's a lot more emphasis put on raising capital than there necessarily needs to be. So when you're starting out, it's so important to be solving a problem, building a product that is a solution for a group of users who really care about it. I think that sometimes if you read the media and you see people with these big flashy numbers, it becomes the goal, and raising money becomes the goal as opposed to actually building a company that is solving a problem that people care about. And so firstly, I don't think that every company should be raising capital, and I think for us it was actually a huge advantage not raising capital early on in the piece. So we had 5 years of being organically funded, where we got to learn all sorts of things, building a product, internationalizing, solving a problem, becoming profitable, which is a really unheard of thing in Silicon Valley, and a whole bunch of other things that if we went straight from being students to bring on a large amount of capital, it would have meant that we wouldn't have known exactly how to spend it or how to execute. And also raising money can be a time bomb. So unless your charts are looking like crazy good, you don't want to be having to pivot when you are building up the headcount, building up the burn. So when you raise capital, you really want to be able to hit the ground running and start flying literally as a company immediately. So definitely, if you're thinking that raising capital is the first goal of your company, you might want to reassess things, because ideally what you'd be able to do is figure out a problem that you really think should be solved in the future. Find customers who passionately believe in this as well. Make sure that's a big group of people. And then make sure that the product that you create is actually solving the problem. So if you can do all of those things, then in regards to raising capital, well, actually we did all those things and then we thought it'd be really easy, and it wasn't. It was like 3 years before when I first met an investor, when we were already profitable, to actually raising capital. And it was 6 months of time in San Francisco and pitching like literally for a full year and revising our pitch deck 100 times, and it's really complex and time consuming. So don't prematurely optimize for raising funds if you can, and then when you do, it is going to have to be a very solid 100% of your time sort of effort. And again, unfortunately there's no magic formula. For us, revising our pitch deck was really helpful, so we revised it 100 times literally. But what would happen an investor would say a question like, I don't understand your industry. And so what we'd do then in our pitch deck was explain our industry so they could understand the magnitude of the problem. And that's super important as well. So being able to take every piece of constructive feedback or criticism or not answering your emails or phone calls, and being able to interpret that and building up your pitch deck and actually finding the solutions to the problem that investors are talking about is really important. And then the other thing, if you are raising money, you don't need to go to an investor and say, are you going to fund me right now? Because that kind of never happens. So what you actually want to do is start to build a relationship. You start to show that you can execute on what you're saying you're going to execute on. So that's a really positive thing if you can do that, is you say, I'm going to do X, and then 6 months later you've done X. And then if you do that enough times, they'll start to think that you actually are going to do what you say you're going to do, which is really helpful as well.